By a man who needs no introduction, Ben Roethlisberger.
And when you just sit and look at the raw numbers, you actually kick back and nod in appreciation about the career Ben Roethlisberger has had. Went over 50,000 passing yards last year, 8th all-time. But what he wants more than anything, one more run at a Super Bowl where he's won twice previously.
On first down, it's Roethlisberger. And no, incomplete. Boy, they took a shot there on the first play, tried to start it out with a bang, but it's second down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Eat these two. Snickers, you gotta spin.
To throw here, Roethlisberger. And they get to him with the pressure as Roethlisberger goes down.
All right, partner, I'm going to be Captain Obvious right here. Not the start you're looking for offensively, right? Incomplete pass, followed by a sack.
And when he went down, it looked like that right ankle got turned, but thankfully he popped up okay, and they breathed a sigh of relief on that sideline. Now Ben on 3rd and long. And this turns into disaster. Not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. So how's that for an interesting way to start this ball game?
First drive of the game and you go backwards all the way into your own end zone?
Guess it kind of makes you wonder what else we might have in store here in this one. And remember, following the safety, you give the football up as well, and they free kick it from the 20 now. Returnable now for Allen. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback.
And this could be a whole lot of fun because if his game plan goes into effect early, we're going to see some shots downfield, aren't we? What did he talk to us about? Stretching the field. Wants to open things up for not just his receivers, but for anything underneath.
Well, that was the theme, the front page of the sports section. Where the columnist right, possible air raid. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The coaches view that, right? Who gave away the game plan? I think it's pretty obvious, though. That'll help them win. One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they got a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hang out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Wade in the gun. And the Cowboys pressure gets there this time for the sack. Amon Brooks in there to drop him for a loss of 10. And it'll be 4th and long. And here the pressure from the outside linebacking spot.
And normally when that happens and they're able to get home, that means the other guys on his team helped him out a lot. That they occupied people to allow it to be no less than a one-on-one situation, allows him to get home.
Well, they bring their punter out there now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. And a big no-no last time. A safety to make this score 2-0 where we stand now. So see if they can atone for that mistake.
You give up points, But on the flip side, the positive side, after you punted the ball away or kicked it away,
defense held.
Defense held for you, so there's a little bit of relief there. Now they know they can get back out on the field, run their offense, and try not to put their defense in a bad spot again.
Here's Roethlisberger. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Again from the 20 after the incompletion. Here's 2nd and 10. Second and 10 now. It's Roethlisberger. And this one is incomplete. Eric Decker was the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
What I loved about meeting with these coaches before the game is we didn't even have to ask any questions. They told us that they were going to be aggressive and push the ball downfield. They weren't successful on that play, but look for them to try it again later.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now it's Roethlisberger. This one complete to his fullback down the backfield. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you're wondering, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. And this guy's got his first completion. They think he might be off to the races.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Macklin unable to reel that one in. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Roethlisberger to throw. And they get to him with the pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Man, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. And they're not going to get a playoff here as time will expire on this first quarter. But likely not for long as they're in punt formation to kick it away. And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. They'll indeed go for it with Roethlisberger. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 45. Look at the spin. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
So out now comes the offense back onto the field.
They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass. Excellent job. Way to knock it down.
Here we go!
They'll run it now with Barber. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
To throw on 3rd down, Wade. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And this one is right through. And that will give us the very rare scoreline of 5-0. The bottom line, tremendous starting field position, really squandered there as they wind up going backwards and then come up with just 3.
Well, getting the 3 turned out to be important. I can imagine the head coach when he ordered the field goal. Please salvage something out of this drive. That was not fun to watch.
This is taken at the 3. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Here comes Ben Roethlisberger and the Steeler offense back onto the field. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. My good friend Charles and I right back at you after this. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime report.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. On 2nd down, Roethlisberger. Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Now Roethlisberger down around his goal line. And he's got Decker left side. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. Roethlisberger will stay out there, and they're going to go for it on 4th.
230. Jack 16. Solid, find out. Snickers.
They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line.
I don't know why you would do that. It's almost guaranteed points the other way. I mean, I get it if it's a late-game situation, maybe even 4th and inches. But, boy, that's a huge risk to take.
Yeah, now they're set up in prime position going the other way.
Here we go.
On first down, Wade. This will be caught at about the 6. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
When you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Boy, you will not see a quarterback of his caliber miss on one like that very often. I mean, there it is, wide open, got the shot, and he misfires.
We talk about, boy, he'll want that one back all the time. He definitely wants that one back. They'll roll now, out we go. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. And now a timeout called by the Cowboys defense, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. So out comes the field goal team now for the second time here today. This is an easy one, 23-yarder. And his kick here is good. And thanks to his safety and 2 field goals, this is now an 8-0 game. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. We focus our attention now on the quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. And he has not really been able to have a lot of comfort back there. Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay.
Delay of game, offense.
He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that, because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
Now it's Roethlisberger. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
Jack 16. Take both of them.
Roethlisberger will throw. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7.
So, Brandon, we sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Jack 16. Snickers, you gotta spin.
Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock.
Here's Brad Wing now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. And he'll take it on this side of midfield. That's it for the first half. 2 more. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken at the 3. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay, but in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies, try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that. His throw incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Second and 10. Waiting to throw it again. Incomplete. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it. And in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. And incomplete on the deep ball. There was the pressure you were talking about, force the incompletion.
And it doesn't always have to end in a sack, does it? Sometimes you can make a good play by forcing the incompletion with the pressure.
So they bring out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the 2nd half. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. And now we're going to get a delay of game. And that's going to back him up halfway.
Delay of game, offense.
They were already backed up. Now they're backed up further.
I think they were being so careful to make sure all assignments were covered that they ended up running themselves out of time.
On 2nd down, here's Roethlisberger. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Jeremy Maclin, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd down and 12. And they will not get the snap off here. This is going to back them up halfway.
Delay of game, offense.
They're inching closer and closer here to the wrong goal line.
When you're backed up like that, all you're trying to do is make sure you don't give up a big play, right? You don't miss an assignment that really gets you into more trouble.
After the delay, they're backed up even further for 3rd and long. Now Roethlisberger back into his end zone. And can you believe it? It's a second safety in this ball game. And this defense continues to dominate. How about 2 safeties in one game here?
You don't even put that on your goal sheet. This is something that results when you're playing really well on defense and the offense has nowhere to go with the football. Dominating performance.
Now the free kick comes after the safety from the 20 as they bring the punter on to try and get some hang time here. Here's Allen. Allen, nifty footwork.
Partner, when I was in college, we used to have these things called game maxims that we did before every game. One of them said, press the kicking game. For here's where the breaks are made, is the area of hidden yardage. How about that return? Flipping the field, taking it past the 50, and getting things set up to start the series.
Now a run for Garner. Brought down, but after we saw a flashy little move, stopped short of the 40. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Back to throw. Wait. He's going to loft one deep left side here. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Looking to throw. Wade. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Touchdown! In for the score. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. The tight end can kind of be that diamond in the rough secret weapon that you have, and right there they show you why.
And it's becoming less of a secret, isn't it, partner? Every game that we do nowadays, the tight end is a featured receiver, not just a blocker, as in the days of old.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes our score 17-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And not a particularly good return here as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
If these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Delay of game, offense.
He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run and just lost track, and it cost him.
Roethlisberger now off the bootleg. And that is incomplete. Eric Decker, the intended target. And that'll make it third down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
And for the third time now, this is going to wind up a safety. Unbelievable. Well, it's rare to see one safety. It's even rare to see three safeties in a game, Charles.
Well, we'll be able to talk about this with our grandkids, great-grandkids, and anyone else that may come around the house when we get a little bit older on that rocking chair. We were there when we saw three safeties in one game. At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10.
Come on, let's go! What?
They'll run it now. Out of the gun. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Here we go!
They run again with Barner. And he's got this one across midfield into Cowboy territory. And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. That, his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a 1st down there.
When you're a player of his stature, you don't just circle the games on your team's calendar. You
Circle the Pro Bowl?
Without a doubt. That's a game that you just figure you're going to be in each and every year. That's because of catches like that. That's why he goes.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. So it's our home team here in possession of the football as we come back. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple and put this one in the left-hand column. They go play action here on 1st down. He hits Greg, complete. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Here we go!
Now Barner. Now he bowls him over. So he got 3 on 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. Desmond Bryant, the one to get him down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man.
How about the fellas with the stars on the side of their helmets rising up on defense? We always hear about the Cowboys' rushing offense. Their rush defense is pretty good as well, I think, because they're so cohesive. Defensive line, linebackers really work well together.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This fielded at the 2.
And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And they'll have great field position here as the ball will be at the 15-yard line.
There's never a good place on the field to fumble the ball. Let's just call it as it is.
But definitely not in your own red zone.
In your own red zone, it's heightened, isn't it? Because you're almost automatically giving up a score and the momentum, and everything just changes for your team.
Yeah, so the kickoff on a great field position. And they give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. The storyline in this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into